I'm Paul Milana. I'm a principal with Hart Howerton. We are leading the land plan for Walsh, and we're also leading the landscape master plan for Walsh. When you're working in an urban environment, you're thinking about all of the things that came before you, the buildings, the open spaces, the street network. We listen to what the land is telling us, and we try to work with it. We find opportunities in the topography, in the geology, the flora and the fauna. We want to learn about all of that. All of those become cues for us in how we would shape a community, in one that embraces this network, that celebrates it, puts a frame around it, and does not try to fight with it. We also researched existing neighborhoods in Fort Worth, the ones that have been cherished for over 100 years. We walked them, we looked at the homes, the open spaces, the park networks, and we made note of what really worked and what were some of the design ideas that we could achieve at Walsh. So much of our country was laid out in a grid. When we looked at the land, nature really doesn't draw things in a straight line. So we were following the lines that nature had put here before us. We do have an interconnected grid network in our community plan, but it sort of warps itself onto the topography. It warps itself onto the landscape. The client team has assembled a great network of consultants who are working with us and giving us detailed scientific data about the land. So we're working with environmental consultants and people who really understand the ecosystems of North Texas. When you look at the land, it's indicative of the North Texas prairie, areas that are higher and drier, grassier, areas that are lower and wetter. And all of these drainages begin to coalesce and form larger drainages, and it's part of the larger pattern of this part of Texas. That network, that pattern, we call it a dendritic pattern. It's the pattern that water takes. It's also a pattern that gets repeated in nature. You see it in the form of a tree, the branching of a tree, or the roots that the tree makes below grade. You see it in forms like lightning. So it's a pattern that's repeated over and over again in nature. And the dendritic pattern of this site became something that we mapped. That became our green network. When we design community around that, we think about where streets and houses go and other uses, community uses, where the parks should be. It's all with this larger network in mind. And we want Walsh to be a community that lives outside. Our trail networks follow those patterns. And so we like to say that at Walsh, the trail starts with your front door.